Welcome to the Building Family Together podcast, the show where family, marriage, business, and faith come together.
Yeah, so welcome back again. We're so excited to get everybody back in just to step into our world and share our story. And I'm really excited to get back on the couch with you.
Oh, okay.
And you looking good, got your hair done up.
Yeah, I'm not having a bad hair day today, so I'm good.
I see you got a little extra
gray,
color up in the front.
Yes, your spirit has got on to me. Now I got gray hair in the front.
No, but you look beautiful. And I see you try to check out my outfit today, so you try to match me a little bit. But that's cool.
This was my idea.
I actually think it's cute that you try to match me. But, I really appreciate that.
Well, I noticed your ankles ain't ashy this time, like they were on the last pilot podcast.
Ashy ankles? I had ashy ankles?
Yeah. My hair was messed up and you had ashy ankles.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well,
one of our daughters called it out.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, cool. Well, glad to get back on the couch with you. Number one, let me connect with you and check in. So how are you doing?
I am doing well. Kind of tired. We had a busy week. The baby was coming off her first fever ever. She did not let me sleep. She didn't really let you sleep either.
No, that was rough. She was in the bed with us.
Yeah, sleeping either on top of us or in the middle. So I didn't get a lot of sleep.
You know what? Real talk, we got to figure out how to get her back out of the bed because now she's actually pretty used to being in the bed with us now.
But all the parents who they say it's good for your children to co-sleep with you, but
I'm not there yet. I like having my space.
Well, she's still young and she's so sweet. So
she is sweet, but we definitely have to come up with a game plan to get her back out of the bed.
Oh,
but I love my little sweet Vivi.
Yeah,
and we've enjoyed it. But she's comfortable now.
Oh, it's no biggie. Yeah, so I'm still trying to get over that. So I'm still tired from that, and I'm a bridesmaid. So I'm on bridesmaid's duty. We have like less than 3 months left until the wedding. I got to lose 10 pounds. I got to look good in this dress.
You look fine to me.
No, my pants don't say I look fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you know what? Watching you do the bridesmaid stuff makes me never want to be a part of any type of bridesmaid or any of that.
Y'all don't have to do anything.
Absolutely.
I think y'all just go to the bachelor party and then show up and then y'all good.
That's why we keep our stress down.
No, we're like the maidens. Like when you're a bridesmaid, you are basically a maiden. And so we have the bridal shower coming up. I feel like as soon as I can get that off my list, I can think again. I haven't even filed my taxes. So yeah, I got a lot on my mind right now.
Definitely file your taxes. We don't play around with that.
Not our taxes in the business we have together. I have a side business. I have not done my taxes for that. But I'm not late. It's just my brain is occupied at the moment.
Yeah, well, we definitely will get that done for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so you're doing the bridesmaid stuff. Baby was sick. Everything else good?
This podcast.
This has been great.
Yeah.
A lot of great feedback on it. But, just great. We're just lifing together, moving on. But I always like to check in.
I'm just lifing and wifing.
Check in with you.
And mothering.
You're doing a lot.
And working.
Yeah.
And cooking.
Yeah.
And cleaning. And driving. Because I'm the taxi cab driver. You're doing a lot too.
Well,
I feel like you do it, with a lot more grace.
We're matching energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
no, I don't want your energy. You be tired all the time.
Well,
I feel like I'm a little bit more energetic, even though I do more physical work. I feel like I'm more energetic.
Did you have your matcha this morning?
I did have my matcha this morning.
Well, that's your
that is not the reason.
That's your extra boost right there. Is your matcha?
Yeah. But I didn't eat. So if y'all hear my stomach growling, I didn't eat yet.
Well, we are excited to get back on the couch just to welcome everybody back into our world and just really share the real life of who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
And you kind of mentioned some of those key points of family, marriage, business, and faith. And so once again, we just want to open it up and just talk about how that relates. I thought it would be interesting to talk about some of the challenges or learning lessons that we've been through.
Yeah.
When you get on social media, everyone's posting about all the home runs. Yeah.
The good stuff.
The grand slams.
Everybody, when it comes to business, only tell you about the wins most of the time.
Yeah, but we definitely, we enjoy the wins, but we're not always winning.
Yeah, we're not.
Sometimes there are some challenges that we have to go through, but those challenges and those learning lessons actually help sharpen us and make us better. And so I just wanted to maybe shine a little bit of light on, you know what, when you're building a business or you're raising your family or whatever it is that you're doing, it's not always peachy.
It's not always pretty either.
It's not always pretty.
Yeah.
Like you. Sometimes you like how I slipped that in there. I'm always trying to get a brownie point. But, you know, it's not always easy. Mm-hmm. It's not always pretty.
Yeah.
But the process, and one thing I always encourage young entrepreneurs or just anyone is you just always have to trust the process as you're working through it, because the process is going to get you to where you ultimately want to be. So,
you know what, though? You got to trust the process, but your process has to be accurate.
Facts.
Some people have processes and it's completely wrong. And so the business is ran into the ground because they don't have that education or the know-how of how to get there.
Yeah.
You know? So a lot of those things early on almost cost us our business.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely a lot of learning lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want to give everybody a peek into that. But really, I want to focus on all the stuff that nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, the challenges that nobody wants to talk about because they were so painful that you and I endured together.
I had to. Even if it wasn't my fault. I had to. Because we're one, right? So if I'm married to you, whatever you do affects me and the family.
You say even if it wasn't your fault.
So if you mess up, that means I messed up. So, yeah.
Yeah. True. I mean, I definitely can speak to some learning lessons that I take a little bit more ownership of. It's kind of like
if I burn the house down, you burn the house down. It's your house too.
Yeah.
So you got to deal with your house being burned down, which I did almost burn the house down trying to make African black soap in my kitchen.
You know
Don't ever do that.
I'm going to tell you, when you did that, I tried to shut it down. I was like, no more.
I had soot all over the ceiling. Like the flames were sweeping up over the stove in the oven hood. I
shut that down.
I was trying to be Nigerian.
Yeah, no, you know. I shut that down. We still have a smoke stain.
You ain't gotta tell everybody.
Okay.
Well, I think we painted. I think we had that painted over.
We painted over it, but NT ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, just learning through those challenges of what we had to deal with.
Yeah.
And helping others know that as you're building your family or your business or whatever you're doing while you're lifing, you will go through some challenges and situations and circumstances. But as you continue down through the process, how do you come out from that? And how do you bounce back from that? So, you know, one unique thing about entrepreneurship is it really magnifies your personal weaknesses.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is because we had to learn by fire.
Yeah.
Through a lot of those things. We are first generation business owners, and we didn't know what we didn't know. Mm-hmm. So we would just do things in faith, do things out of this is how we think it should get done until we realize we're doing it wrong.
Oh yeah. Your dad though, he used to own a sandwich shop. Years ago. Yep. You helped him out, but I guess he never, well, you were so young, you never knew how to run that.
No.
But I guess you didn't go to him for advice because we were in construction and he had a sandwich shop.
Yeah,
maybe.
Although I think just him being a business owner, he had some really great principles that he could definitely share. But we learned a lot through fire, just trial by fire. And we just walked through that. One of the great things is we had great consultants and mentors in our life to help guide us through.
Yeah.
One thing that I always try to teach others is, let me tell you about the potholes that I stepped in so that you don't step in the same pothole.
I thought you were going to say, so you don't lose your hubcap.
My hubcap?
I thought potholes were in the street.
They are, yeah.
Why would you step in a pothole if it's in the street?
Girl, I'm just trying to give an example.
Okay, my brain, like I'm a literal person, a pothole.
Okay.
I think of cars losing hubcaps.
So I try to teach people, don't drive your car in the same pothole.
Okay.
That we drove in. The street. You got to swerve around that pothole.
Don't swerve.
Is that better?
No, that could cause an accident.
You know what? We're going to move on past the potholes. Okay. But NT ways, we try to teach others, you know, try to avoid some of the challenges and things that we went through.
Maybe you meant to say pitfalls.
Pitfalls. I mean, just all of the above. But another unique thing about when you're intertwining marriage and business, I look at that as like the ultimate pressure cooker. Because you got the pressures from marriage, you got the pressures from business that you're trying to put them together and make them work together.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of extra pressure with that.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to carry that from the office to the house or from the house to the office.
Mm-hmm.
And you have other folks, you have your team members around you that, they don't need to be exposed to a lot of those items. So, just trying to work through and navigate that. But let's talk about maybe one of the challenges that we had to overcome.
Money, 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 money.
Definitely some money challenges. And just how we navigate through that.
Yeah.
I remember there was a project that we were so excited about that we won, and we were executing the project. Everything was going great. And then as we started to get halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way through the project,
we were almost finished.
Things were not going so well.
Yeah.
And that was where I realized, we didn't estimate this project right. And at the end of the day, at the end of the project, I remember seeing a pretty significant loss.
6 figures.
Yeah.
To be exact.
Yeah. Who's counting? A 6-figure loss.
Yeah.
And I found out about that first. And I actually had to come and tell you. Do you remember when I came and told you about that?
Yes. Were you scared to tell me?
Absolutely. I mean, that was significant.
Yeah. When you told me, I freaked out. I didn't spaz out. I just freaked out. Like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Like, that's a lot of money. And I knew that you estimated the job because, this was early on. So in my mind, I'm like, how are we going to get out of this? How are we going to pay this back? And so I couldn't beat him up because I already knew he felt bad about it.
Yeah.
And so, I just tried to be supportive, but it was a shock to me. So,
It was a shock to me too, because
I think I was like, how did that happen? Or how did you do that? Like, what did you do wrong?
I actually remember you telling me that I need to go back to selling real estate.
Hello.
You're like, hey, it's time to get out of this.
That was the good old days.
Yeah.
Go back to selling real estate and let's start building houses again.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. And it was tough. It was tough to tell you, because I knew you're in the books, you're in the accounting, you were going to see it. And I knew that, we had to figure a way through it and work our way through it. But I knew that we could do that together and we would figure a way of making that work.
I can't remember, but did we have to go and get a business line of credit or did we already have a business line of credit?
Yeah, so we actually already had a business line of credit.
Thank the Lord, because you never want to try to get a business line of credit when you're sinking. Like you want to go ahead and have one.
Absolutely.
When times are good.
Yeah.
And it took us 4 or 5 years to pay that off?
No, it wasn't that long. It was probably about 2.5, 3 years.
No,
yeah,
maybe 3 to 4. And I just remember so much of our profit just kept going to, hey, we got to pay this off. Hey, we got to pay this off. Yeah. And I was just like, are we ever going to get ahead?
Yeah. But one of the things that really helped us out was having that line of credit in place so that we could cover our losses and continue to operate and build and work through that.
I think, too, having a house in order, because we've tried, no matter how much money we make, even when we didn't have a lot, we've always tried to live below our means and to make sure that we didn't have any debt. So I think the only thing we owed at the moment, as far as personal debt, was a mortgage, and our mortgage at the time was low. So I think that helped us, too, because I think had we had all this personal debt, that really would have messed us up.
But also, we run pretty lean on business debt as well, right? So from a business financing standpoint, we were able to navigate through that much better.
Yeah.
Just because of, to your point, having your house in order, which is really important. Now, when you say having your house in order, what does that actually mean?
Having my house in order, like your debt ratio, really like your finances. Like, how are you running your home financially to where if something was to happen, even personally in your life, would you lose it all? And so for us, we're just big about not having debt and living below our means and not spending more than we have and not borrowing. What does it look like to you?
I think, when obviously the financial side of it is extremely important. but then also having, a process or a procedure in place for how you're going to execute whatever you're doing, whether it be business or family. You have a way of how you like to do things, and having great people in your world or in your pocket to help support what you're doing and help you through some of those tough times and those challenging times. But ultimately, a lot of it comes down to the financial side of not being overloaded with debt or things of that nature. So
in your personal life, is that what you're speaking of?
Personal and business.
Yeah.
I think it goes both ways because, personal life, we could be in a great place, but business wise, if I have a lot of truck loans and equipment loans and I have too many people on payroll and all these extra expenses, that actually would eat away at the profit.
Yeah.
And that would take away our ability to respond.
But I will say, having your house in order financially, your personal life, if things were to tank with the business, it gives you some time to recover instead of having massive debt in your personal life and having massive debt in your business.
Yeah, I agree. So a question, how did that mistake affect us as husband and wife and not just as business partners?
We was eating a lot of beans and rice. And we've gotten so used to eating beans and rice that my kids know how to cook beans and rice, and they still eat beans and rice to this day.
Today,
Yeah.
We have found some
beans
gourmet.
and rice are delicious. Like I love beans and rice now.
We have some gourmet dishes that involve beans and rice.
All you need is beans, rice, sour cream, some cheese, salsa. And then I make my own seasonings.
We ate beans and rice and beans. And matter of fact, we pinto beans, chili beans, black beans. Yeah. I mean, to this day.
Yeah. So I think we just had to, I can't really remember because that was something I tried to get out of my mind, but we just had to live really lean. But like I said, because we didn't really have any debt, I was thanking God because we didn't have any debt that we didn't have to suffer too much personally. But the business did suffer because I think at the time we had, maybe 3 employees? We have about 35, 36 employees now, but I think at the time we had about 3 employees. So thank God that we were lean even in our business when it comes to personnel, because that would have been really tough.
You bring up a really good point because during that time when we were experiencing that loss, everybody still had to get paid on time every Friday. I had to make sure everyone had their paychecks every Friday. I had to make sure that our suppliers were paid every cycle. Our equipment suppliers were paid every cycle. I had to make sure everything was paid, and we still had to produce on the job site.
Yeah, and I think too, a lot of business owners don't realize, especially when you're in the beginning to the middle of the business, a lot of times we as business owners barely get paid because we have to make sure that our people are paid. And so I remember for maybe 5 years, I was just like, can we please build houses again? Like, you were not really bringing anything in.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, you were not bringing really anything in, and neither was I. But like I said, because our personal life, because our debt was so low, it allowed us to sacrifice. I think financially we sacrificed for the company. I feel like maybe 8 years. Maybe even longer than that, to where our pay was very, very lean. Like it wasn't, we wasn't doing anything extravagant because you kept saying, babe, trust me.
Exactly.
I need these finances to go to building a company and paying people. But I'm like, we make way less doing all of this. I don't get it. We have all these big jobs and we're not making any money.
Well, I knew that we had to be conservative.
And very lean.
Right. Yeah. And run very lean so that would free up capital to hire the next project manager or estimator or superintendent or admin person, whoever that person was that we needed. I knew that I had to be lean and have that extra money in reserve. Or if we go through another cycle where things get a little slow and we had our employees already on staff, that I wasn't going to let them go. I was going to have them ride through that low point of that slow cycle with us. And so that's why I always looked at running lean. And even to this day, we still run conservative.
Oh, yeah.
But that was important. So, I think about what did we do during that time? Well, I can tell you, we definitely made sure that we honored our commitments.
Yeah.
Right. I remember at the end of that project, the main contractor they told us how excellent of a job we did, and they wanted us to do another job with
Heck
them.
to the now. Heck to the now.
And I was like, you know what? Thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah, it's because we did a good job, but guess what? We did this job for free. We did this job for you for free, and we took a 6-figure loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were years, I mean, when I think about the first years of business, I jokingly say we were a non-for-profit business.
We were a non-profit business.
We were a non-for-profit. I mean, we got plenty of practice in.
Yeah. And I think you got confident to the point where you was like, you know what? I'm not doing any more practice. Yeah. So you had to learn to say no because you thought in order for the business to be successful, you had to say yes to everything. Mm. And a lot of times those yeses made us actually lose. But I think when you're running a company, sometimes you do it scared. Mm-hmm. And you're like, I got to say yes to this. I want this job or, you know.
Well, you're thinking about revenue. I mean, you have to generate revenue, even if it's outside of your element or your business plan. You're thinking about, I need to generate some revenue because I have bills to pay. I have employees to pay. I have suppliers to pay. So there's always that itch to want to step outside of that.
It's really like taking a leap of faith because we did not know how each job was going to go. I think now that we're more seasoned, we kind of know how to steer our jobs, you know, with the estimating, with our programs and things like that. But in the beginning, I remember sometimes you would get scared when you won a job. You was like, oh, crap, what did I miss? Why did I win this job? Yeah. Like, how much money did I leave on the table?
That is a scary phone call when you get awarded a project.
And you're scared.
Because you know it wasn't because they just love you that much. It's because
now they love us a little bit.
Now we're in a different place now because we have great clients that enjoy our work and they see the value in what we do. Yeah. But whenever it's a competitive bid project, it's lowest price.
And someone taught us sometimes your best bid is a no bid. And that has saved us a lot of heartache. Shout out to Ruffin Consulting. Thank you.
We definitely are more careful about the projects that we take on. And we'll look at it on the front end and we'll do a no-go analysis and we'll determine, is this the right project for us? Is this the right client for us? Not every client is the right client for you. You have to go back and analyze if this is the right client for you.
So basically that job that we took, that project that we took on that produced a 6-figure loss, it taught you that it's okay to just say no.
Absolutely. Tanora, why don't you talk a little bit about our overhead, like our understanding our rates and just some of the core business things that we had to learn and understand from this particular situation?
Well, I think you would do a better job at that. But from what I know with our overhead rates, it has to be a way that you calculate everything. A lot of times when people run a business, like let's say you have a coffee shop, right? You have a coffee shop. A lot of times when people start a business, they say, okay, I need money to buy the coffee and everything that I use to make the coffee, to pay the employees and to pay maybe like for the rent. But nobody thinks about, oh, I'm going to have a tax rate or lawyer, or I have to have an accounting system in place.
Insurance.
Yeah, insurance. For instance, if you have an employee, like let's say you pay your employee $50,000 a year to help you run the coffee shop. A lot of people don't realize that your employee really does not cost you $50,000. Your employee might cost you $85,000 because then you have the FUTA and the SUTA and the unemployment tax and you got the payroll tax because you have an employee, and then you have 401k if you offer it. So your employee costs you more. And then if they're a bad employee, they might cost you $100,000 because sometimes your employees will lose money. So a lot of times I think the issue with overhead rates that gets a lot of business owners is the fact that they're not calculating those and then they don't know how to put the percentages on top. They're only saying, hey, I had to pay this much for the rent, for the employee, for the coffee, but they're not thinking about all of the other overhead or the administrative costs that come with having that business. And I think that can mess people up because I remember there's one point, I still remember this. You had got like a really good job and you came home like with an $80,000 check. Do you remember that?
I do remember.
And I was like, oh my gosh, we're rich. Like we finally got some money. And you was like, no, we ain't keeping this money. I said, what you mean? And you literally was like, I gotta pay this. I think we had like $5,000 left after that.
Oh yeah,
I was like,
that
are
money,
you serious?
That check was spent right when I received it.
Yeah, so that taught me now when I see a big check, that doesn't mean nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a $10 million business and do $10 million in revenue, but you're really only keeping like $50,000 to $75,000. So you have got to get those overhead rates, those administrative costs down, and you have to understand how they work.
You know, that's a whole nother episode in and of itself to talk about that business component.
Yeah.
And at some point, we may be able to get a little bit more in the weeds and talk about that. But that is extremely important, understanding all of the costs associated with running the business.
Yeah.
You know, to your point of the coffee shop, is not just a matter of hiring an employee and being able to serve your coffee and having machines, but you know, what's your trash service?
Yeah.
What's your insurance costs? What are all of those costs that roll up that you have to pay for as a business owner?
Oh, yeah. And then when you make more in your business, the insurance is going to go up. Yeah. You made a little bit more revenue than you said. You know, we're going to charge you for that because you could have had an accident. So we're going to charge you for that too.
Everything goes up. So, but that was key for us to realize that. And then at that point, moving forward, we made sure that cost was incorporated into everything that we did.
Yeah.
Really still having the same understanding of we still have to run lean because those costs will actually inflate your proposals and make your number really high. So we knew that we have to stay competitive and keep those numbers low.
Because you can miss out on a job if your number is too high.
Absolutely. And we don't like missing out on jobs.
No.
You know, another component that I thought about was just having your team in place. And when I say our team, I think about our legal team. I think about
operating team,
our operations team,
accounting team,
our
risk management,
risk management, all of that. Risk management
People
is
will
huge.
come for you.
They will
just because you are a business owner.
They will absolutely come for you. And it's important to have all of those things in place so that when they come for you, you know who to contact with that specific team. And also, too, I'll tell you, you know, as a young business owner, we always were trying to save money. So we would come to
10 and cost you 20. That's what your uncle said.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 10 will cost you 20. And we would always go to that particular professional and say, hey, you know, can you do it less? Or we would try to find someone that would always do it less.
And they cost us money because we were literally trying to save money.
Absolutely. Yeah. And sometimes trying to save money will cost you money. Now, the reality of it is we're all on a budget.
Yeah.
And we are always mindful of cost. And that's normal. But at the same time, we try to put the focus on the value that professional is giving us. What are they providing us? And paying for that value versus bottom dollar. Because to your point, trying to save money can and will cost you money at some point.
Oh, yeah. Like when we actually started bringing valuable people into our lives and I saw their costs, I was like, ouch. But then there was one person who did something in our business and that was an ouch, especially when it came time for tax season and we saw all the mistakes that were made and, you know, how we owe so much.
They are no longer on our team.
Yeah.
We had to change up on that. But, you know, when I think about the folks that are in our lives, our legal counsel, our risk management folks, our accounting folks, they are still in our lives. Our CPAs, they are still in our lives. I mean, we are blessed. We have such a great team that we're rocking with, and they have our backs. They understand how we execute and operate, and that's helped us be a really, really strong as a company and just great business friendships.
Yeah. And, you know, we have this thing that we say, we do business with people that we know, like, and trust.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's great. So, you know, those are some of the things that actually really helped us through that and helped us overcome that. You know, one of the things that I realized is that faith doesn't remove the pressure. It didn't remove the pressure for me, but it actually gave me the strength to endure it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. One thing I like about you too, though, is even when we went through those hardships, and we still have hardships and learning moments, they're not as painful. But even when we went through that hardship, for me, it made me want to give up. But for you, it encouraged you to keep pressing on. Like, I remember you saying, I'm not worried. Like, you knew we were going to get out of it.
Yeah, you know, I just have so much confidence and faith in what we're doing. I don't have a plan B,
Yeah.
right? I don't want to have a plan B. I want to have a plan A, and I want to execute my plan A. Kind of like you. You're my plan A. I don't have a plan B.
Yeah, you threw away the receipt.
The receipts are gone, so
Yeah.
I can't take you back to the store.
Yeah.
But we don't have a plan B. We focus on plan A and making sure that plan A works, and we have our confidence in plan A. And so when those challenges came and when we had to face those, my mindset was, how do I navigate through this so that I'm never in this situation again?
Yeah.
What do we need to incorporate or change or fix so that we're not in this situation again? And just putting that focus on it. But let me tell you, one of the things that really helped out was your support through all of that. You could have bashed me. You could have kicked me while I was down. You knew I was already feeling terrible about it.
Why add to it?
But you took the road of encouragement and comfort and helping me get out of it. And when you think about
even giving you the side eye, but you just didn't know.
You gave me a lot of side eye, a lot of neck turns.
But I still served you dinner. I still was respectful in my speech, but at the same time, I'm like, this man done lost all this money.
Yeah, but that encouragement and that support fueled me to want to fight it even harder and to make sure that we were not in that situation again. So thank you for the support that you gave, because that was really special. That meant a lot to help us get out of that. But just understanding what we were doing, what we were going through, and how can I make sure that we're never in this situation again. And,
things are unpredictable, though.
Yeah.
It rains on the just and the unjust.
Yeah.
Like, things are still unpredictable.
Yeah.
So I think even in those moments, we had to just put our faith in the Lord. It was a lot of prayer. And I remember times a lot of fasting. I knew you was in prayer and fasting because you was getting skinty.
I was missing some meals.
Yeah, you were missing some meals.
Yeah. But I knew what it took to get us back on track.
I was eating, though. I was eating good. I was nursing a baby. I had to eat.
Yeah. But you know what? Had we not focused on those areas, we literally could have faced a disaster. And not only just in business, but in our family.
Yeah.
We had to really take a step back and put the focus on those areas and figure out how do we fix these areas so that we can continue forward. When you think about your team, not only your legal team or your accounting team or even risk management, but just the people that were counting on us every day to, our employees, our team members. Yeah. I mean, we have a commitment to them to make sure that we're able to give them a paycheck or their lifestyle or whatever it is that they're seeking. We have to make sure that we're in a position to uphold our end of the commitment, our employment commitment. So,
and you know what, Reggie? I'm actually humbled that we as a business can provide a life for other people so that they can provide for their family. That's really humbling to me.
Being able to provide a career path for someone is really special. And I don't take that lightly. We don't take that lightly. We look at the opportunity to provide, because when we're bringing on a new team member, they're depending on us for that provision.
And to not fail.
When I say us, I mean, obviously the Lord provides for, but they're counting on us for that employment opportunity, those career opportunities. So it's important. So I try to be very, very careful whenever we're hiring people on, because I'm committing to that person. We are committing to that person. So that's really important to do. But, we knew that we were called to do what we're doing. And I know that is why we were able to just really lock in and focus, because we knew we weren't going back to doing anything else other than what we're doing.
I didn't mind. I like building houses.
You were ready to change up.
Oh, yeah. I like building houses. It's less stressful. You and I were the only employees. We ran our jobs. We got our money. Move on to the next project. Done. To me, it's way less headache. And I think a lot of people that come into the business, like you said, they only see the wins, but they don't really see the blood, sweat, and tears and the sacrifices that we make in the praying. Like, Lord, how am I going to pay my employees because we're going through a difficulty? It's a lot.
We tell people we didn't wake up just looking like this.
No.
It was a lot of long nights, early mornings, a lot of makeup to put on.
You're till this day, not as bad. Up in the middle of the night, all your thoughts come to you in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
how can I make the
do.
business better? Or I'm having this situation at this job. How do I make that better?
It's funny. I keep the phone by the bed. That way, when I get that idea or that the answer to that problem, I'll just jot it down and then I can deal with it in the morning. But yeah, I mean, just stuff comes at random times, but you know, that's just part of the process. And we embrace it and we work through it. But just 100% just focus and just commitment to what it is and what we're looking to do.
Oh, yeah, because sometimes I feel like you can lose your drive or passion when you're going through difficulties in the business or feel like you're on the verge of losing it. But yeah, like your commitment, you have to learn perseverance.
Absolutely. I think that's important. So what's a legacy takeaway moment that you would want to share?
I believe Proverbs 22:1 says, a good name is rather to be chosen than riches. So we want to make sure that our name was good. That's more valuable to me than wealth.
Wow.
And so even though we were going through those trying times, to me, I used to tell you this all the time, Reggie, it's more important that your name stays good, that you keep a good name, that the company keeps a good name. Because, you know, we didn't want to, when we were going through those difficulties, we didn't want to be known as the ones who don't pay their bills, they don't pay their employees.
Yeah.
And, you know, so keeping your name good, having faith for the Lord to see you through, but seriously, perseverance, because it is so easy to quit. I believe, what is it? What is the stats? Like within 5 years, 50% of businesses fail? Or is it like most businesses don't make it to 10 years and we're on 15 years?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's the stat. I don't remember the actual percentages. I'm sure it's higher than that number. But
probably.
There's a lot of challenges that you face. But as you're facing that, what's your character? How are you going to respond to those things? And you're right, making sure that we honored our commitments and did what we said we were going to do. And that is what has strengthened our name in the community, in our state, in the surrounding states that we work. That is what has really strengthened our name. So I think that's a great legacy takeaway moment. I think about having your house in order.
Yeah.
You know, that's critical. And that's a component, that's a idea that is not just for business, but it's for home.
Yeah.
You know, it's important for me to have our home finances in order so that when we are operating our business or we're starting a business or whatever we're doing, if we're doing it well at home, then we can apply those similar principles to the business and it'll work. You know, there's a little bit of adjustments that you have to do because business is a little bit different, but at the end of the day, we have to have our house in order. I remember trying to go get that first business line of credit, and I didn't have a whole lot of revenue to show on the books.
Yeah.
And I remember the loan officer telling me, hey, listen, I like you. I believe in you. I think you're going to do well. You don't have a lot of revenue on the books. Yeah. However, your credit score is really strong, and I believe that you'll pay us back. So I'm going to trust you and give you this loan.
Oh, yeah. You know, when you say that, that reminds me of the scripture that says that if you are faithful in the little things, the Lord will trust you to be faithful in the bigger things.
Yeah.
So I think, too, just being a business owner, you have to be faithful in the little things in your personal life.
Yeah.
Like, are you faithful in those things? And then I believe that character that you show in your personal, your home life, with your finances will reflect in your business.
Facts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely just making sure that you have your house in order. And honoring your commitments, doing what you said that you would do. Protect your name, protect your brand, protect the things that you're building, protect your family name.
Yeah.
What do we tell our children? Listen, if your last name is the same as my last name, you're going to make sure you do right. You know, don't mess our last name up, you know? And so we want to protect that and honor that. But those are some key takeaways that I think will really help out our listeners and the folks that are benefiting from this podcast and the things that we're sharing is, you know, applying those things to your life. I mean, this is just works for us, right? Yeah. This may not work for everybody, but this works for us. So that's a major takeaway. But you know what? I want to hear from our listeners. I want to hear the questions that they have for us that maybe we shared a couple of nuggets that they want to hear more about. Yeah. I would love to hear some questions, and we would definitely do our best to try to respond back to those. Who knows? You know, we may spend a whole lot more time answering just that one question that goes kind of deep. But it's important to us, for our listeners and the people that are benefiting from what we're sharing, to ask us questions and try to apply that. It could be about business or family or faith or marriage.
Yeah.
And now we're not the experts on any four of those.
No, we just living life.
We're just living life, but we can at least share on that. So that's important for us. We want to hear from everybody. And we've already had a lot of great questions rolling in, but what about, somebody else that thought about something? So please, if you got something that you want to share, drop it in the comments below. We love to hear your question and try to make sure that we get back to that. Also, if you feel like this podcast has really blessed you, if this was helpful for you, you know what to do. Click, subscribe, like, follow us so that, we can get the word out to more folks about what we're doing.
Now we together. Now we together.